Have you ever wondered why you try to save money, yet your wallet somehow feels emptier? Why the news keeps saying the economy is growing, but your paycheck hasn't moved in years? Open a standard economics textbook, and you're hit with GDP, monetary policy, and equations that look like they belong in a physics lab. It's no surprise many people end up believing that understanding the economy requires a PhD. But here's the truth. Economics is not complicated. People just explain it in complicated ways. The beauty of island economics lies in how it strips reality down to its simplest form. Through a story about 3 islanders catching fish with their bare hands, it explains everything from savings and investment to inflation, banking, bubbles, and financial crises. This simple island becomes a mirror for the real world. Let's dive in. 1. The island before economics existed. Survival mode. Our story begins on 3 small islands, home to 3 people: Abner, Baker, and Charlie. Every day, all 3 jump into the water and catch fish by hand. 1 fish feeds 1 person for 1 day. No savings. No loans. No tools. Nothing but survival. Miss a day of catching fish? You go hungry. This primitive scene might feel distant, but it's actually where all economies begin. The money you spend, the homes you buy, the stocks you trade, everything traces back to the same foundation. How do humans get enough to eat today, and how do we secure a better tomorrow? The magic of the island story is that it removes the noise. No jargon, no policies, no financial engineering. Just the core mechanics of human survival and improvement. 2. The first spark of growth. Abner builds a fishing net. One night, Abner lies awake, staring at the stars. He realizes his entire life is spent catching just enough fish to not starve. He dreams of building a shelter, weaving a palm leaf outfit, maybe even making a small documentary about island life. But he has 0 free time. Every hour is spent catching food. Then he gets an idea. What if I build a fishing net? It would take a full day to make. But that means no fishing that day. No food. He'd have to go hungry. Baker and Charlie laugh at him. Why starve for a net that might not even work? But Abner takes the risk. He sacrifices today's fish to build something that might help him catch more tomorrow. And the next day, the net works. He catches 2 fish instead of 1. This moment is the birth of capital. Capital isn't magically created. It comes from giving up consumption today to produce more tomorrow. Human progress, stone tools, farms, factories, computers, always comes from this same trade-off. Sacrifice now. Build something productive. Earn more later. That's the foundation of economic growth. 3. Lending, borrowing, and the real meaning of good debt. Abner's net doubles his catch. He eats 1 fish and has a spare. Now Baker and Charlie want nets too, but they don't want to starve for a day. So Baker proposes, Abner, lend us a fish. We'll survive the day we spend making the net, and afterward we'll pay you back 2 fish. Abner must choose. Save his fish for himself, or lend it out and hope they repay him. He takes the risk and lends the fish. Baker and Charlie survive their no-fishing day, build their nets, and soon the island goes from catching 3 fish per day to 6. Everyone is richer. This simple story reveals a deep truth. Borrowing isn't exploitation, it's cooperation. Savings matter because they allow resources to flow to people who can create more value. Just like in the real world, a bank lends deposits to entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs grow business. They repay loans with profit. Savers earn interest. Society grows wealthier. But this only works when debt funds productive things. If Baker used the borrowed fish for a vacation instead of making a net, he'd come back with no net, no fish, and no way to repay. That's bad debt, consumption debt. There are 3 types of borrowing. Productive loans. Borrowing to build tools like a new fishing machine creates more income later. Emergency loans. Borrowing due to illness or disaster keeps people alive until they can work again. Consumption loans. Borrowing to relax, party, or buy luxuries creates no future return. Most real-world problems come from mixing these up, like using credit cards to buy things that don't improve your income. 4. From barter to money. When fish become currency. As productivity increases, the islanders start specializing. One builds shelters. One makes clothing. One teaches surfing. Others design tools. But bartering becomes messy. To trade, the canoe maker must find someone who wants a canoe and has something he wants. The clothing maker must find someone who wants clothes and can offer something valuable in return. This double coincidence problem demands a solution. So the islanders adopt fish as money. Everyone needs fish. Everyone agrees on its value. It becomes the medium of exchange. From this moment on, fish are no longer just food. They're currency. And just like in the real world, once money exists, danger soon follows. 5. Inflation arrives. What happens when money outgrows real wealth? Money only works if its supply matches the real output of the economy. If the island catches 100 fish per day, the money supply should roughly reflect those 100 fish. But what happens if someone starts slicing one fish into 2 fish tokens and calling them both whole? You get inflation. Prices rise. The currency weakens. Everyone's savings lose value. This is exactly what happens when governments print money faster than the economy grows. 6. The rise of banks, storage, lending, and fragile trust. Fish spoil quickly, so storing them is risky. Seeing an opportunity, Max builds a temperature-controlled storage hut, a bank. People can now deposit fish, earn a little interest, let Max lend fish to productive borrowers. This system works beautifully, as long as Max lends responsibly. But if he lends to fools or scammers, depositors show up to withdraw fish, and the bank is empty. That's a bank run. This is exactly what happened in the 2008 financial crisis. Banks lent money to home buyers who couldn't repay, and the whole system nearly collapsed. 7. When money turns to paper and problems multiply. As fish become the foundation of the currency, fish storage receipts emerge. People start trading claims on fish instead of actual fish. Paper is easier to move than real fish, but it's also easier to manipulate. Someone realizes printing a fish receipt is easier than catching a fish. And this is how inflation, speculation, and financial bubbles begin. 8. The government arrives. Helpful at first, then not so much. At first, the island has no government. People solve disputes through trust. They fight off pirates together. But eventually the community grows. They need a navy for defense, courts for justice, lighthouses for safety. So they form a small government. Funded by taxes, it protects everyone and helps the island prosper. But then politicians learn a dangerous trick. Raising taxes makes people mad. Printing money doesn't, at least not immediately. And so the abuse begins. Printing currency to fund subsidies. Supporting loans for people who can't repay. Financing massive projects that waste resources. Inflating asset prices to create fake prosperity. Sound familiar? It should. It mirrors modern economic bubbles, from housing crises to government overspending. 9. Bubbles, crashes, and the inevitability of pain. Fish receipts spill up. Loans go wild. People buy houses with zero savings. Banks create complex financial products nobody understands. The government guarantees bad loans. Everyone believes prices will rise forever. Then, one small shock. A fancy real estate project stops selling. A big investor collapses. Panic spreads like wildfire. House prices crash. Banks fail. Jobs disappear. Inflation destroys savings. Imports become unaffordable. The currency collapses. The island hits rock bottom. Just like the 2008 crisis. Just like every historical bubble. Fake prosperity eventually collapses under its own weight. 10. What the island teaches us. Timeless rules for real-world life. After all the chaos, the island learns what every society must eventually understand. 1. Real wealth comes from production, not printing money. You can't print your way to prosperity. You must build, farm, create, fish. 2. Savings are freedom. Abner's greatest strength wasn't his net. It was his willingness to go hungry for a day to build it. Tra. Good debt helps you grow. Bad debt makes you poor. Borrowing to gain skills or tools? Good. Borrowing to show off? Dangerous. 4. Inflation is a hidden tax. When money gets printed recklessly, your savings quietly shrink. 5. Beware of free lunches. Government programs that promise benefits without cost always extract payment later through inflation, debt, or lost productivity. 6. The economy is ultimately simple. People work. People save. People build. People trade. Everything else is details. Final thought. When you finish Island Economics, you realize something powerful. Economics isn't a puzzle of formulas and charts. It's the story of humans trying to make tomorrow a little safer than today. Prosperity isn't built on hype or shortcuts. It's built the same way Abner built his first fishing net. With sacrifice, discipline, cooperation, and steady progress. Congratulations, you've just unlocked the simple truths behind the complex world of economics.